How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Naked Brand, which ended up having a strong day inside of the market. It respected those key levels. We talked about this in the previous video, and I also did an update inside of the Discord for the daily morning watch list, so many people were able to take advantage of this. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance, or what are those key levels that we want to see this stock actually hit. And then afterwards, we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know, are institutions loading up on shares? Are they a part of the action? The reason why this is important, because it can have an impact on the overall stock. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more key details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Naked Brand. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at 83 cents, being up 21.80%. On the low, it tested 72 cents, and then on the high, testing 83 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 359.707 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 81.225 million shares. So when we have this kind of volume coming through the stock, we can definitely look forward to seeing strong moves like we saw today. Now, when we're using the 1-year daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, we're right around 73.26, so we are in the overbought territory. And when we take a look at our moving averages on the chart, of course, we continue to have momentum above all of them. So where we tested on the low is where we want to pay attention to here. So we ended up testing 72 cents. So the next area of support, if we decide to pull back going into the open tomorrow, I'd want to see us hold up around 75. If we were able to maintain this momentum we have in the 80-cent range after hours, and as well as for the pre-market, then I'm going to want to see us hold up here around 80 cents. And then after, what we want to look forward to is that push going to $1. Keep in mind, I'd want to see a move for us to get here right around 91 cents. There could be some selling pressure here. There's going to be many who are aware of that, especially a lot of traders. So don't be surprised if we have a little bit of a pullback, but then I would expect a recovery with strong volume like we had today, so we can go back to testing that $1 range. And the other thing I want to bring to your attention as well, if you could see what's happening with Naked Brands, we are seeing increasing levels of support, right? We talked about this in the previous video. We saw that it's been able to use a 200-day as support right here around 66 cents. And then after, we can see an increase going here right around 75, which is what I called it. And now, of course, now I'm asking for us to actually have a support being built here right at 80. So just continue to keep an eye on it, and let's see how it performs for tomorrow. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for NAKD. So we can see here on the inflow, it was 69.85, and then on the outflow, it was 60.32. So we end up having an inflow day. When we take a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 0.34. On the medium, it was 40.27, and then on the small, it was 29.24. Taking a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 1.35. On the medium, it was 36.90, and then on the small, it was 22.07. And keep in mind, this is in the millions. So taking a look at this breakdown, there was a lot of buying on the retail side, which is good to see. We also saw it on the medium side, and we also had a discrepancy as far as for the inflow side, because you know what, outflows ended up winning out. Institutions were offloading shares. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, like I just stated, for September the 27th, which is today, being at 1011.74. So what we saw, there was a lot of selling on the large scale order side. So that means institutions taking profits, and we are not surprised about this, but there is a lot of interest on the retail side, and we are seeing some orders going on on the medium. So with all of that said, continue to keep an eye on this play. But like I was saying in the previous video, Naked does have a reputation for running for no more than 2 to 3 days. But due to the catalyst, who knows? That might be a different situation this time around, but I just want to make sure you're aware. So now let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Naked brand, when I went on Fintel before putting this video together, I saw that the short volume ratio was around 51%. So shorts are heavily vested inside of this play. So this is why I'm saying if we end up having a lot of volume and a lot of buying pressure, we could really see this stock take off. Now, going over the key levels, what we want to see going into tomorrow and holding up in the open is around 80 cents. And we want to look forward to seeing that move to where it gets to the 90s. And then of course, moving even further to touch the $1 level. The last time that it touched $1 and ended up selling off quite a bit. So that is one thing that I want you to be aware of. I'm also getting some questions. Dre, is now the time to jump in? One thing I'm going to tell you, if you are going to be jumping in, wait for confirmation. Just don't jump in right at the top. If it pulls back, make sure that you have your entry ready. And then as soon as when you are inside of the play, you keep your eye on it. Because like I said, this is very volatile. It's a penny stock at the end of the day. So you want to make sure that you know all of the risks that are involved. Also seeing that we had 360 million in volume, I thought was crazy. Even if we take into consideration what has been happening on the previous days, we didn't have anything like that. So that's why I'm saying if we see a continuation of this, it can get very, very interesting. Also did talk about this play for the daily morning watch list. So there were members who were prepared for it, were able to actually get some profits off of it. And for anyone who's holding this play overnight, I just want to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, what makes you feel comfortable. Do not feel pressured whatsoever and do not let your emotions get in the way. For example, I'm talking about greed because it gets very exciting when you see a stock running up, but it's also not the best thing when you're left holding the bag either. So make sure that you're planning ahead. So I hope you enjoyed this video and we'll be talking real soon.